Welcome back to Limitless, where the info is far out and the content is rad. Today we are going to be pickling everything. All of my favorite recipes that I pickle, every other weekend, I'm going to share those with you. And if you're ready to be pickled, let's go.
Mango, onion, cucumber, carrot. Oh my! So the first recipe we'll be pickling today is pickled mango. So what we'll need for the mango recipe is a whole mango, lemon juice, cayenne pepper, and some sea salt. I usually reuse my bottles that I get, maybe spaghetti sauce or pickles or some onions, instead of just buying more bottles. So first peel the mango, and once it's peeled, you will then slice it up into small, long slices. Add them to the jar, and then you'll first put in the lemon, squeeze maybe about a teaspoon, and then you're going to put about a tablespoon of salt and a tablespoon of cayenne pepper. You're going to close the jar and you're going to shake it up, and then enjoy. You have pickled mangoes. My next favorite recipe to pickle is the red onion or the purple onion, whatever your preference of name is. When I pickle my red onion, I like to pickle it with a jalapeno pepper, and then I will make my dredge out of water, apple cider vinegar, brown sugar, allspice pimento seed, and a little bit of turmeric. So now let's get started. Cut the onion into small, thin slices. For me, the thinner the better, because then they will soak up the juices of the dredge a lot better if they're thinned than if they're really, really thick. So slice them as thin as you possibly can. Now don't forget to cut up your jalapeno. So usually I take one whole jalapeno, cut it in really small slices. I try to cut maybe about half of it and try not to go too close to the seeds, because the seed is actually where most of the heat of the pepper is, and I just want a slight spice, not extremely hot where my mouth is burning. Now you're going to take a little bit of hot boiling water and you're going to put the onion in it so that it can take down the sharpness of the onion so that it's not too hard to chew, it's not too oniony. You're going to put it in there for maybe about 1 to 2 minutes, not too long. You don't want to cook it or boil it. Don't put it back on the stove. This is pre-boiled water, and you're going to let it sit again for maybe 1 to 2 minutes. Now time to make the dredge. So to make my dredge, I use 1 cup of water. I then take the apple cider vinegar and I use about a half to 3/4 of a cup of water. I put the mixture together and stir it. Oh, you see I made a little boo-boo there. I then add my sugar into the dredge. I'll be adding 2 tablespoons, or actually 2.5 tablespoons. I then am going to add my turmeric, which that's only about a teaspoon. And then I'm going to add a small teaspoon of the allspice, the pimenta. Then I stir and continue.
Next, we are going to take the onions out of the water. So we're going to drain them. Once it's fully drained, you're going to force the entire onion into this jar. Try to place the jalapenos around, like arrange them around the jar on the outside. Put some on the inside so that they could be all over the jar instead of in one spot or just at the top. Once you're finished doing that, you add the dredge. You want to make sure that your entire onion is covered completely by the dredge. Once you do that, just cover it up and voila, you can put it in the fridge and this will last you for a couple of weeks. It would take maybe a day or so before it's actually ready to eat. Now we are going to pickle our cucumbers and carrots. The first thing you want to do is you want to get your English cucumber. You are going to slice them. I like slicing them round. You can cut them in any shape that you like. Once you're finished chopping, put the cucumbers in a strainer, put it inside of a bowl so it can catch the water that's going to be drained from the cucumbers because of the salt. This would create a more crisper cucumber by adding about 2 to 3 tablespoons of coarse salt, and make sure you put the salt over all of them. Place it in the refrigerator for 3 hours. Now let's go ahead while we're waiting to chop up our carrots. Again, you can cut it in any nice shape that you'd like. The round ones are perfectly fine for me and my family. So I'm just going to cut them up in small little round circles. It has now been 3 hours, so we're going to rinse our cucumbers. You don't want to rinse off all the salt, just some of it. Now let's bottle up these vegetables. We are going to take our carrots and cucumbers. I love adding sun-dried tomatoes for a little extra flavor. You don't have to do this part. This is just something that I like. You're going to place the cucumbers and the carrots and the sun-dried tomatoes in the jar at the same time. Try to pile them in so that they are in there at different times, in different pieces. You want to force it in. I don't like wasting my carrots and cucumbers, so I usually try to force them into the jar. Once you have all of them into the jar, you're going to pour your dredge all over the cucumbers to make sure that they are all covered. Once you have that, you're going to screw on the top. You're going to let it sit for about a week, and then it's ready to eat. And there you have it. Pickled onions, pickled mango, and pickled cucumbers with a little flair. Please subscribe, like, and comment below, and make sure you hit that bell so you can get the next update.